It is 7:02 on January 19th. This is the Townsend Housing Authority. And I would like a roll call, please.
Natalie Call present.
Laura Schifrin present.
Beth Sexton Duranian present.
And this meeting is being recorded. We're going to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. 1.5, additions and deletions to the agenda unforeseen. I don't have any at this time. I don't know if anyone else does.
I would like to add discussion of possible affordable housing units.
And are we discussing the correspondence that came to us today for the referral for the zoning board on an accessory apartment permit?
Yeah, we can probably put that under the correspondence and clerk's announcements.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we can act on it, right?
Yep.
Because just in case we do not meet before their public hearing, we should have a response to them.
Okay.
Okay. And I agree with Chaz's suggestion as well.
Okay. We can jump into the work session, or sorry, I skipped 1.6, Chaz. Sorry, state representative report, please.
I do and I don't. I just have, I had finished a meeting today with a representative from DHCD, like I had talked about last time, and I would probably like to have a discussion with you, Madam Chair, before I report on it. That way, I'm going to be inviting her to one of our next meetings, I think. And that's all I have.
Okay, number 2, the work session under 2.1 HPP next steps and the 2023 target goals and strategies. So I sent you guys the markup that we did last time of kind of setting out what we wanted to do for 2023. So if you can take a peek at that, and I think we had kind of identified in there some that we wanted to kind of get started on sooner rather than later in that. I'm gonna try to get it up here. Sorry, I don't think I'll put it on the screen, but let me get it up. Okay, so the way I kind of just did this was like kind of blue was just like a note in generally, and then the ones in red were kind of the 2023 targets that we talked about in here. And then obviously each one of these you can go look at the more specific piece in the actual housing production plan. It has a lot more information as well. But I think unless anybody has any particular points, I think some of these things we're going to talk about tonight as well.
Correct. So I can address a couple of these. Continue to seek CBG funds to preserve and maintain. I know that that's a discussion that the selectman is talking about as well. And when that does come up, I can notify the board, and anybody wants to come or join the meeting to hear about that. But I know that that's on our punch list for 2023 as well. Create a process to maintain an updated inventory of tax title properties. I think that's something, Jody, aren't we in discussion with on several different boards in regards to that?
Yeah, there is
there, like I said, I think I mentioned this at last meeting, the town properties has a list of town-owned properties, and they're all, Karen Chapman had put together, they're all by different, it's water, it's conservation, it is vacant land, it's the Dudley Road property that has been tagged for affordable housing. But I think I sent that. If not, I can send that to everybody just so they can see what the town owns.
Um,
Madam Chair, or Chaz, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but along the same lines.
Yep.
When you mentioned Karen Chapman's name as, or you didn't, but Jody did, as preparing that document, that's true. However, I don't know, and I don't think you do either, if that is updated with properties that we are not aware of.
That's true. I can, if you want to wait until next week, I can try to grab the treasurer collector and see if there's anything I'm missing. And then I can send it out.
Okay, or maybe we'll be talking about this later on another topic within this meeting, and then maybe we can be clearer about what we're looking for.
I mean,
Yeah,
we can talk about it now too. I think we're on it, so let's keep
Oh.
going.
Chaz?
Jody, if you could investigate to see if there are two properties over on our two condo units owned by the town at Pine Ridge.
Okay. I want to say, Lori, and maybe you'll remember better than I do, at the properties meeting, I don't know if they've been actually taken yet or if they're in process. I want to say there's definitely two, if not three.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I said, I can check with the treasurer collector and get back to you.
Okay, there's two that I know of.
Okay,
Okay.
so I didn't remember that, Jody. And I apologize if I didn't remember that she had brought it up at the meeting, at the town properties meeting. She, the tax collector, said she was in the process of taking over condos at Pine Ridge.
Yep. Yep.
Town. Okay, so that, yeah, when that happens, so definitely the town properties would look at it and then probably send it over to housing that would then send it to the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
Or maybe both town properties and the housing authority, and hopefully, well, not the trust, because but would take the recommendation or of the two boards to the Board of Selectmen. And then hopefully something can be done with it. And hopefully this isn't something that, like so many other things, like the bylaws and stuff like that, take forever to do, rather than just a policy that is process of doing business, let's say.
Correct, but there's some extenuating circumstances that might show that we need to take priority issue on this.
I agree.
Okay. Jody, I think you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah, I know there is an issue, again, the treasurer collector had mentioned it at the properties meeting about condo fees and who's on the hook for that. And I think it's just one of the properties. And again, I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm not 100% sure. I know one of the properties is a little messy. But again, I don't know where in the process she is, so.
Okay, so that is like Chaz says, that should be a priority because we have enough experience on town properties and planning, well, town properties anyway, and the assessors to give guidance as to what to do. I have enough condo experience anyway to give the process for which, and then the values. So whatever it's worth for the town to acquire it may well exceed the value to the town. In other words, so if we had to say then recommend, this is for instance, say recommend that so much money come out of the trust, the housing trust, to acquire these two properties, anything owed on these two properties or to renovate them. And then we have properties that we would be able to rent. The housing authority would be able to rent.
Okay.
Okay?
So I'm gonna talk to Melissa and ask about the 2 condo units in Pine Ridge and ask for an update or where they are, I guess, in the process. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the only other one, Madam Chair, would be under it's number 4, adopt local guidelines for development applications for the local initiative program. That's something that was brought.
Sorry, sorry, I'm listening.
That was awesome.
It got a little dark in here, that's all.
I just like that cheerleader move.
Trying to get it to see me.
But it would be the LIP program was something that was in another correspondence that we had received from the administrator in the land use office in regards to the process that a person has to follow. And I think it's something we need to do sooner rather than later as a board. We have to develop that process. Those are my thoughts.
And this is in reference to the ADU kind of flow chart question, right?
No, number 4, adopt local guidelines for development applications for the LIP, the local initiative program. It would be under planning, policies, and zoning under our strategies, and it's number 4.
Yep. Sorry, I guess I got them a little mixed up because I think that in the correspondence that we got, it was associated with an ADU and asking for a process, right? Were those 2 different things?
Nope, it's the LIP process is part of that.
Okay. So I think what I had written here last time, I think Natalie, was that you were gonna start to reach out on this one about the process.
So it's the number 4. I always want to make sure I get the right information. Number 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Now that I have more time to focus on things. Yeah, I will get on this and I'm going to seek guidance, of course, but I will get on it right away.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do that.
My suggestion would be to talk with Fran over in Groton.
Okay.
Fran is in the affordable housing over in Groton.
All right.
Her last name escapes me at the moment.
Okay. I'll get it. All right. I'll give her a call on Monday. I'm sure. Yeah, I'll give her a call on Monday because of the snowstorm. I'm sure their office is closed tomorrow. So I'll reach out to her on Monday. I'll let you know what I obtained from her. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the other ones we didn't talk about yet on here. So investigating the feasibility of promoting smaller developments in several town parcels. So this is the one, I think, and it might be kind of on the agenda as well, is that we were going to take a look at some of the properties, the 6 properties that were transferred to us, and we haven't quite been able to get together to do that yet. So I think we need to find another time to go ahead and at least take a look at some of them. Does anybody have any like preferred dates on like a weekend that you might be able to do that?
Okay, I can do afternoon on the 21st. I could do afternoon on the 22nd as well. This is Saturday and Sunday.
I can do the afternoon on Sunday after 12 o'clock. I can do that.
I
I
can do
can't do
that.
Saturday.
20
I can do Sunday.
22nd.
Yes, I can do Sunday afternoon. I work till 12, so I'll be in Pepperell, so I'll be done. I mean, I could be available at 1 o'clock if you want to do
I
that.
can, yeah, I can do that one as well. So the
Okay.
22nd at 1 PM.
1
Yeah,
p.m.
where we're gonna meet.
If you want, we can meet, at my house, like we talked about before, just because we do have access to one of the parcels from there.
Okay.
Unless you'd like to start somewhere else.
Oh, that's fine.
But we can get to the Wallace Hill, Haynes Road parcels from there.
Okay.
Madam Chair, just a suggestion. How about if we could just send out an email to the Affordable Housing Trust and say that we're going to do this on Sunday afternoon and see if they're interested in joining us?
Good idea.
So this is going to be like a site visit. So really no discussion will take place.
Correct.
Mhm. Right.
Okay, so just so that everybody sees it. I am not in a position to do that.
I can live stream it for you, Lori.
Okay.
So I'll do what I can to take some notes on the properties too when we're there and walking around so that we can share those with you, Lori, if that's helpful.
Okay. Or
Hopefully
Chaz, call me before like noon on Sunday and I'll tell you how I am.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
we are probably going to also want to hope that if we do get any snow, that it's going to have melted by then, just so we can actually see what's out there on
Yeah,
the snow. So
It's supposed to be mostly rain anyway, so.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the other piece to that was the, and I'm gonna get this one wrong. Hold on, because I have to think of it off the top of my head. The parcel that we were talking about looking into selling to the state.
Yeah, it's the rear. It will have to be are you talking about 182 Warren Road?
It's the one that had the tongue twister name. Hold on.
Oh, no,
South-
it's not that.
Road.
Okay.
South Row Road, is that the one? South
Yeah.
Row Road
Is this one of the parcels that we transferred to the trust?
is,
Okay. That's at
that's
the
most,
stated.
that we think right now is mostly wetlands, right? We don't, not confirmed, so.
And I was able to get the contact for Ann Gagnon. So I have her email, I think, and maybe a number, but just let me know when you want that.
Yeah, I do have her number, just so you know, Jody, if you need it.
I had sat in on the Housing Trust had a meeting a week or so ago, and they were talking about this. I want to say this parcel as well, reaching out to Ann Gagnon, and I do not remember who, but someone had mentioned that they probably wouldn't, they being the state, make a move until the fall. I mean, I don't know if there's a timeline involved. That was just what was discussed at the trust meeting.
Well, I still think we should go and take a look at them, and then come back and together and make the decision if we, do think that's an avenue we want to pursue.
Okay.
The other ones we didn't talk about yet was producing educational information to promote ADUs as a housing option for the community.
I wonder if MRPC might have something already done that we can just use a template. and have that go up on the website?
I think Mass Housing Partnership also has videos on that.
And if that's the case, it should go on the Townsend website. And then we can promote that through however they do social media, like Facebook or whatever that the fire department posts to, or the police department posts to, water department, whatever, all those notices that go out,
Mm-hmm.
and emails, because I'm getting a ton of emails from the town departments that go out to all the department heads. So that certainly can be shared that way too. And then the department heads can share them.
Um, okay, I can take a pass at starting this one. And we'll see where I get on it.
Courtney, I might point you in the direction of Harrison, who is our he helps out with our web stuff. He might be able to, once we have the media, he might be able to help us out with how we can get it out.
Okay.
And you can probably get in contact with him through the selectman office, through Sabrina.
Okay, the next one was number 17, which was creating a regular predictable funding source for the Affordable Housing Trust and a 5-year action plan to enhance the trust's effectiveness. So we talked about discussing this at a joint meeting, and that joint meeting had to happen after the trust had one of their meetings. So I think since that has happened now, we might be able to try to set up this joint meeting.
I would love to.
Madam Chair, I have a comment about that finances and money for the trust. So there was $100,000 put into the trust from, what was it, ARPA funds?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Where is that money kept?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
So,
want to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think there's an account. I think that the treasurer collector had opened a new account specifically for those funds for the trust.
I guess and I know it's supposed to be a separate line item or whatever that way, but I'm wondering, why isn't it in like a CD or a money market or something that will get more interest? Because that is what's happening now. You know, you go to Workers Credit Union and they've got 4.6 for 18 months, and you can withdraw once without a penalty. Now, you can't get that in a money market now or a regular savings account. So somebody's got to be watching this money to be productive and not just be sitting somewhere.
Well, I guess that would be another question for the treasurer collector, because I mean, it could be in that kind of an account. I'm not sure. I imagine the trust would know, but I don't know.
And I'm not really sure how that works too, Jody, because technically the trust is outside of the town funding.
Correct.
And it really shouldn't be in a town account. It should be in a separate account.
Jazz, could you take that charge and talk to Eric about that?
Yeah.
And the treasurer, since it's kind of like a hierarchy discussion in the town and not something that departments can do. But I mean, I'm just noticing that this in the last couple of weeks of what's been happening with the CDs and the interest rates going up, and how it isn't like the banks are coming after you and saying, hey, we've got high interest accounts, switch your money over. They're not doing that. You know, you have to go and look for it and say, hey, this is what I want, or do a little bit of shopping.
Mhm.
Now, when I say a little bit of shopping, I really don't mean go out of town, because I'm not a promoter of any out of town business. So, but we have, I don't know, I don't go to Rollstone a lot, but we do have 2 banks in town. And I guess that begs the question, where does the town keep their money? Where does the town keep their money? I guess that's a question for you, Chaz. As a selectman, you know, promoting business in town, trying to get economic growth here in town, you know, let's see where they keep this money. It's a lot of money that we have, especially during tax time, you know, so anyway.
Would you say on the CDs 18 months, what's the percentage on that?
4.6.
Okay.
I think it's 16 months, but still. But if you go like to Edward Jones, which is an in-town business, they are 3 months is 4.2, 6 months is 4.6, 4.4, and the 12-month, they don't have a 16-month, but a 12-month is 4.6. They don't have that one-time withdrawal without a penalty thing.
Mhm.
So you absolutely want to put, and generally for organizations like the condos and stuff, we do 3, 6, 12. So you've always got something that's overturning. And if you need to have money sooner than the 12, you've got it spread out.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. I'll look into it.
Already, because you know, I mean, when you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
that makes a big difference in the income.
In the income stream.
Mm.
The CPA is something that I know that we had discussed in the selectmen's meeting. That's something that I think is really, it should be sooner rather than later, and the majority of the towns around us have already adopted those. Do you know what those are?
What do you mean? Adopted what?
The CPAs?
What do you mean by CPA? That's an accountant to me. What's a CPA to you?
There's a percentage that is agreed to by the town that goes into a fund that does housing projects.
Oh,
That's the Community Preservation Act.
oh
Yes.
yeah. Yeah,
As
sorry.
opposed to certified public accountant.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so I've got accounting on the mind right now versus.
Well, you were giving us a little schooling with the accounting, Laurie, so that's where your head was at.
All right.
But I think that is definitely something that, it's not something that we could initiate, but I do think that we could be a strong voice and a proponent of that when it does come up to town vote.
So
But I
for a
know-
note on that one, last time we just had discussed with town administrator. I don't know if that was because they were talking about it already. We just had it as a note in there, not really a.
No, the CPA, isn't that on your agenda for the special, or
No, we're not going to
you're
go
not
for
doing
that.
it this round? So,
Correct.
but you are talking about that for the future, like the annual meeting?
Yes.
All right, we've got some time to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, and it may not be this annual meeting. It may be a following one.
I think you really have to have a plan if you're going to do that and talk the townspeople into voting for it.
Yeah, you need
That's-
good marketing, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying, that we would be a part of that discussion and a part of that education. So I want to keep, if you guys hear anything that something's happening, then we should be involved in that. I just feel like the housing authority always gets overlooked in these things, and it's very frustrating after 8 years of going, hey, why didn't we know about that like a year and a half ago when we should have known about it?
Well, that was also brought up at that trust meeting. So I wonder if that could be something to add to that joint agenda.
Mm-hmm. I also feel that part of the, and Jody, you're going to have to help me out with the terminology, but when an affordable housing unit gets sold and it gets sold for a market price and there's a difference that those funds come to the town.
It's supposed to, and it's supposed to be a percentage depending on the fair market value, what it's sold for, and then of course the costs associated with it.
Mhm.
Um,
But that should be going into the affordable housing trust.
yeah,
Are you talking about the CPA?
No,
I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, it came up on like like something over at Copper,
Coppersmith.
or Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do something like with a new development, you mean? Not the whole town.
No, I think what Chaz was referring to is if one of the affordable houses sold.
Yeah.
And it sold for, are you saying fair market value? That the town recoups some of that?
Yes,
Yeah, they're supposed to.
Right.
that money would go into the affordable housing trust.
And that's not happened.
Correct. So
And-
we need to establish, this is part of the discussion about getting that to go back into the trust.
Well, but the issue there, I think, from my perspective in real estate, is that supposedly, is it the CHDA? I get all the acronyms mixed up, even after all these years.
DHCD.
The people that run the lotteries, the people that run the program,
Yes.
to make sure to take the applications and make sure that the people, the individual buyers, are qualified within the program. It is through that agency, upon them switching to saying, okay, it hasn't sold in a year to an affordable buyer, it's going to go to market rate. At that point in time, the difference in that monies, because the previous owner can't make money on an affordable house. If they can, it's a very small percentage. It's
Right.
1, 2, or 3%. It's
I
not,
think it's 2%.
okay, it's not a lot of money. The difference goes back to the affordable housing. Well, now we can have it go to the Affordable Housing Trust. Before that, it would go back to the Housing Authority.
Mhm.
And I really think that, of course, that's not happening in Pepperell. They have their own authority and they have their own properties. The town owns them. Other people don't own them. So they're a different entity under HUD, according to the person I talked to.
Mhm.
But the Coppersmith, that should have been under the DHCD.
Well, what I understood, what I gathered, I guess I should say, from the trust meeting was that CHAPA used to be the monitoring agency,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but they're not doing it anymore. So
Oh.
now there's a disconnect between who's monitoring and how these houses are like kind of sliding by now.
Oh.
Because CHAPA was, I believe, for Townsend, the point of contact,
Yes.
but they are no longer.
And Chapel was the one, Lori, that gave us the $10,000 seed money.
That the town got, and not the Housing Authority.
Correct. And it went into the town general fund and it got spent.
Yeah.
So it's what I'm trying to pull it all back to, Courtney, is that these are the things that we should make sure that we have these safe falls or the procedure or policy set up so that it goes to the the Affordable Housing Trust as opposed to going into the town's general fund.
Yeah, see, that, because it was stated in that open public meeting, which is why my head started spinning about the fact that where did that $10,000 go?
Mhm.
And could never get an answer, because what was stated was when we completed Atwood Townsend
Townsend
Woods,
Woods.
and they gave us, it was such a great project and blah blah blah, all these accolades, and then so they gave us the $10,000 was supposed to be seed money for our next project, our next housing project. And those are the words that were stated at that meeting. $10,000 was for your next project. At that time, all we were talking about was veterans housing. Okay. And mixed use and all that other stuff. Of course, never got off the ground, but that 10,000 was supposed to go towards that. So, okay, now we have a trust, and now we have to, and now we've got that 100,000 from ARPA. So maybe we should just be happy, worked out, at this point. But from now on, we have to figure out how this is going to be. How many houses are actually left in a development that are affordable housing? That is one good question. Okay. How many houses are left that are affordable housing in Townsend that have the possibility of a resale?
We have that list from the list that we have together, like the one that
It's not,
counts as
no,
affordable
it's
housing.
not, I don't, yes, it would be in the affordable, what is counted towards affordable housing. Yeah, so that list would have those houses in it.
Right. And that's another thing that we have to establish as a housing authority, we have to establish a process on who gets that information and how we process that information. So if we have somebody, for instance, we have somebody that wants to build an affordable unit, there's a process that needs to be followed. We need somebody or some process on what the person needs to do. These are all the bullet check points that you have to get done, and then that person has to file it with DHCD, and then we as a housing authority have to make sure that everything is checked off before we give DHCD the thumbs up. They review the process, and then we can move forward with the affordable unit. Then it gets recorded because it's a 15-year process. But that's a policy and procedure that we as a housing authority have to set up as well.
Whatever the state guidelines are a deed restriction when
Yes.
that's established. So,
Yep.
So you saw the email that came with what is coming before the planning board.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, they're going to do their own thing. Will those be counted, the age restricted 55 and over, those are going to be counted as affordable housing units or no? Or just age restricted? Will they be income based?
They have to be recorded as income based.
Okay, so we're going to find out. That should be interesting what these guys are going to present. It's not a public hearing or anything, but there's a possibility of 3 age restricted units that a developer is going to bring before planning board.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any way that can be, affordable housing, I guess we'll keep you posted, or, it'll be on the planning board YouTube meeting Monday night, the 23rd at 8:00, I think it is.
Monday the 23rd.
Yeah, it's Monday night. I think it's 8:00. I've got 3 public hearings before that, and then their meeting with
Well,
us.
I'll still be your liaison at that point, so I'll be there.
Why is it going to change that quick?
I can't confirm or deny.
Aren't we still in January?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I guess that's all I have to say.
I think I have water the 25th, so that would work. I can make that. Planning
Board is really busy. It's not as busy as the Board of Selectmen, of course, but there are a lot of things going through, or coming up, I should say, that have to be addressed, kind of thing. Very interesting. Never dull.
So I think we talked that one to death, Courtney.
Just thinking, where were we? Okay, so the last one that was on here was develop and maintain relationships with local and regional housing developers to pursue collaborative initiatives for housing production. And we had that one on our list for 2023. I know, Chaz, you had sent around the people from Fitchburg.
Mhm.
And I think we talked a little bit about having them come in, although I don't think they're quite, I couldn't really quite tell if they're developer or they help with some of that stuff too, but I wonder if that's an avenue to start pursuing on number 18 as well.
I think we should start. You know, an open discussion about a regional, you know, doing these things regionally, I think is really important.
And are you talking about bringing it up to MRPC?
We can do that too.
So,
I'm thinking of Lori pulling in like people from the Pepperell Housing Authority, people from Groton, and have like maybe a Saturday afternoon where we have you know, like a forum.
yeah,
What are you doing? This is what we're doing. This is our goals in our housing production plan. And what do you think we can do to kind of work together on
Yeah.
these projects?
yeah. Yeah, so, okay, so that's a gathering, not so much, I heard developers in there, and I thought you meant you were going to meet with developers, but, meaning housing developers.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great idea to network with, some of the other housing authorities. You're in the dark again.
I'm coming back.
She's learning. She's not doing the cheerleading thing.
The first time it wasn't working at all. Like, didn't sense me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so that definitely has to stay on the plate, and a forum would be great if we can get something, people have enough time to get something like that together.
Yeah, I was even thinking of inviting, you know, we could even bring real estate agents in. We could do something with the senior center as well. There's a lot of different things that we could do for that.
I think first with the other housing authorities and see what we can gather from that. And then see if they think it's a good idea to bring in more people and have a huge open forum like the chamber does.
Yeah.
You know, and then or have a panel to give a short presentation of what they do in each town, and then people can ask questions, or, you know, instead of having roundtables where you have, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to both roundtables and just having a big open forum with questions and discussion kind of thing, just like not a fact finding, but an idea finding.
Yeah. A think tank.
Yeah.
Does anybody have contact from those specific ones that they would want to reach out to and just start the conversation? From Pepperell or Groton?
Lori, do you know that person from Pepperell?
In the housing authority that runs it, the manager? Yes. Yes. I don't know the one in Groton. And I know I've already talked to her. It's been a few months now, probably 6 months ago, but, I think one of the questions I asked her, would she come and talk to us? You know, and I don't mean she doesn't have to come in person. We can do a Zoom and have her on the Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her and see if she wants to join us on a Zoom, tell us about, you know, what she does. And then, I mean,
If Natalie is going to be talking to Fran. Fran, can you ask Fran if she would be willing to go to something like this? I think she would.
Yeah.
Fran has been doing this for years and years, so she's really very knowledgeable.
And
Okay.
I don't think they're both on like the same page. I think, I could be wrong, but I only know that the one in Pepperell is under HUD. So
Mhm.
as far as agencies that control them. But if you want to set a next meeting and try to have, or a couple of dates that we give them options of what they can make, I'm happy to reach out to Pepperell, and Natalie can give the same information to
Yeah.
Brett.
All right. Okay. Sounds good to me.
So what do you think, Courtney, as far as dates for that?
Probably looking at early February.
I'm good on the 9th and the 16th.
Yeah,
The
I can
ninth-
do.
The 9th is MRPC in February. They switched it from the 1st to the 2nd Thursday. I don't know why. I can do the 2nd, or are you busy on the 2nd? Or
Nope, I'm open on the 2nd.
I'm open.
so I can do that. I mean, that's 2 weeks from now, right?
Mhm.
The only thing, I do have a regulatory meeting for a project on that day. Only thing.
All right, on the
Uh,
2nd.
On the 2nd, yeah,
What about the 16th?
that one's open.
Okay. 16th is open for me too.
Lori, 16th?
I'm
Sounds like we're playing bingo.
Me think.
That's my birthday. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know from day to day, actually.
But would the Wednesday work out, like the 15th, day before?
I'm good there.
What's
Yeah.
And then if we have an alternate for them, would like either the 22nd or 23rd work?
Yeah.
Okay,
Either
we'll
way.
go with that. Yep.
15th, 22nd, or 23rd, and at least that gives them 2 days of the week in case they have normal things running one of those nights. Right?
Okay, I'll email you back with the response that I get. And then Natalie can do the same and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
I'll contact her Monday. Oh. She's in-
Okay. Anything else under our 2023 targets for now? At least from that list.
Oh, I think we're moving forward with it, so.
Okay, the next one is 2.1.2, the multifamily bylaws examples. I sent over just a cover letter to go along with those that we can take that and send that to the planning board. Did anybody have any comments on that?
Nope, I like it. I liked everything that you did. I think it's something that they can mull over and give us some feedback on.
Okay, so I'll get it all together and then maybe Jody, I can have you help me just get it to the right people to distribute that for. And I was thinking it would probably make sense to send it and request a meeting with them after they've reviewed, to possibly talk about it together.
Okay.
All right. I thought you did a great job.
Yep, I did too.
Something else planning will have to do.
Hey. Okay, 2.2, discuss the housing trust and housing authority joint efforts. I think we kind of just touched on this, so we'll reach out and try to find a joint meeting date with them. I may wait to hear back your responses just on the Groton Pepperell one, just because I don't want to tell too many people different dates and then have a lot of different things trying to go on the same dates right now. So let me know, I guess, with that, and then if I might pick one of those other dates to suggest to them.
Okay.
Otherwise, if that works for everybody.
Yep.
Before we move on, those 3 dates, maybe I'll reach out to TCAM. We're going to try to do 7 p.m. and just make sure that they're available for a Zoom with
Yeah,
those
that'd be
dates.
great.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good idea.
taken off the table.
Yeah.
Get it. Yeah. Okay. All right. 2.2.1, next steps for land transfer to trust. We touched on this as well, so we're gonna walk around a little bit, take some notes, and report back at our next meeting on
Okay.
that. Okay. 2.3, MBTA community zoning. I've just kept this one on right now. If anybody has any particular updates, I haven't heard anything.
There's so much going on. I hear so many different things about this,
Yeah.
and it's all on a daily basis. It's different. I hear one thing and go, oh, I hear nothing the next day. And I'm like, well, I
Yes.
thought it was this. And they were like, no, that's the way it was yesterday. But there's a lot of state talk about it too. And the legislature, I don't think they really know what they're doing. Well, I didn't say that.
Well, it's got a lot of moving parts. Right?
Strike that, reverse it.
There's a lot of moving parts, and each town is different, right? And I'm sure they're trying to respond to a lot of comments, and unfortunately, that's coming in really fast, and they're making changes really fast. Seems to
Yep.
me. So, the
Well,
learning curve.
how I see it, and I know that I've talked to Lori about this offline, and we're kind of in the same mindset. Not that I'm speaking for Lori, but it's one of those things where we have to have a bylaw for it. It's not that we have to do anything with it, but we just have to have a bylaw for it. So I think if we operate under that guise, then we should be good.
Well, the problem with that, I've said it before, it's going to be my mantra, is even if you do the bylaw, if you don't do it, it's just going to delay any possibility of growth.
Yep.
But we have no growth. And then if you can't grow your tax base, the taxes are going to continue to get worse and worse. They're not going to get equitable at all. So you need to get some kind of economic growth and tax-based growth
Mhm.
here. And changing the tax rate for commercial or businesses to be higher than residential is not going to make up any difference because you don't have enough.
Yeah.
So it's that's all I have to say.
Well, we're also hoping our bylaw changes that we've already drafted will create some other opportunities. So there's that. Okay. 2.4, the 2022 year-end report. I did put that together and send that around if anybody had any comments.
I do. That was outstanding.
Yeah, I sent you my comment. You did a great job. You covered all the bases. I couldn't find anything that you left out.
Yep, I
Thank
agree.
Gosh, I mean, usually I'm a pretty bad grammar person, so I'm surprised none of you found anything to get me on that one.
I was like, wow, did she copy some
I
of my
didn't.
stuff?
Yes, I cribbed all of it.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Do we need to vote on that for me to be able to submit that?
Yeah, I would.
I make a motion that the annual report for the Housing Authority for 2022, which was emailed to us, be approved to be given to the Selectman's office or the town administrator.
I'll
I
second.
second the motion.
I beat.
Roll call vote, please.
Natalie Call, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
And Courtney Riley, yes. So just before we go to the correspondence announcements, I know Chaz, you had the ad of discussing possible housing units, but I think we covered that. Was that the piece that you talked about with the 2 condos, or is that a different item?
Well, if Madam Chair would entertain a possible motion that if there was some quick action that needs to be taken, like authorize a letter be sent to the housing trust or something like that, in regards to possible properties and that sort of thing, would I be able to act for the board, just to say that we would be interested in doing
Purchasing.
something, and then I'll bring it back to the board once I find out all the information?
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate.
I so move to give Chaz the authority to act for the board in reference to those. Well, I guess in reference to any properties that comes up that the town owns that would be possible housing units,
Okay, affordable housing unit.
affordable housing units.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Roll call vote, please.
Natalie Call, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Riley, yeah.
Thank you.
2.5, correspondence and clerk's announcement. And we have the referral, right? Is that the only correspondence we have, Jody?
Yep, that was it.
Wasn't there something else in that was sent to the housing mailbox?
Not that I know of.
I think so.
You're talking about the one that's the, from the zoning board? That's on your list?
No,
for-
I thought somebody wrote something to the, it was a townsperson that wrote something.
Oh,
To
About
the email or to the actual mail?
like they were looking for assistance. I don't want to give too much information if that's okay. I'll talk to you, Jody, after.
Okay.
All right.
in reference to the, referral to the planning board for that February meeting. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know what it was, February 15th, maybe.
Yes, it is the 15th, which we just talked about doing that date. So scratch that.
Oh, because, well, I don't know, is zoning on TCAM? Do they use TCAM?
They do, yeah. But I think there's 2 accounts or something.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
so I would like to make a motion for Courtney to answer the referral with that the housing authority supports the accessory apartment permit as an affordable housing unit for that application, for the address. I don't have, it's Ryan Road, I think.
Yes, 5 Ryan
Ryan.
Road. I'll second that motion, but I would like to say fully supports.
I'll accept the friendly amendment.
We're such a
Okay, thanks.
congenial bunch.
Can I get a second, please?
Very good. Chaz, I second. That Chaz did.
Any other discussion? Okay, sorry, roll call vote, please.
Natalie Call, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Cal Sexton Duranian, yes.
And Courtney Brilla, yes.
I'm liking the way the zoning board has their accessory apartment square footage compliance. I haven't seen that before. That saves a lot of headache in a public hearing. Did you see that in the application, Lori?
Yeah, but I thought it was in their policy anyway. I thought they had a square foot.
Well, they had a person that they were arguing about what is the square footage for, and it was a very long meeting when they were deciding on the calculation for the square footage of an accessory apartment.
Oh. I think I
But it's
remember
nice
that
to see that
a
they
year
have
or so ago when we had that person in to the
Mhm.
planning board. You were on the board at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, good.
Um, 2.6. There it is. 2.6, meeting minutes. So Jody attached the meeting minutes from December 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, of the Housing Authority meeting of December 20th, 2022.
I
As
second the motion.
Thank you, Natalie. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Roll call vote, please.
Natalie Cole, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Cal Sexton Duranian, yes.
And Courtney Brilla, yes.
Thank you, Jody. You did a wonderful job as usual.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, and so we'll see what happens in our next couple dates here on when we'll meet next, and I'll see a few of you on Sunday.
Yep.
Okay.
And Jody, I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much,
Can
Can
everybody.
we have a motion? Wait, can we have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, that's right.
Sorry to be that guy.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, no.
A second.
God.
The light went out on her too.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Natalie Cole, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Cal Sexton Duranian, yes.
And Courtney Brilla, yes. Good night, everyone.